The Carboniferous Period spanned from roughly 358.9 to about 298.9 million years ago. During this era, the rocks formed to make up what we know as the Carboniferous system. The term Carboniferous is derived from the coal-rich layers found in the upper segments of these rock formations worldwide. Long before the first dinosaurs and pterosaurs roamed the Earth, a distinct group of animals dominated the landscape: insects. During the Carboniferous Period, some of the earliest animals and insects reached impressive sizes, comparable to modern-day hawks. Notably, flightless arthropods of this time could grow larger than the average human. The Carboniferous Period, known for its hot and humid climate, was a time when vast swampy rainforests dominated the landscape. This environment was ideal for early animals to flourish and evolve. Diverse species emerged, competing with amphibians that were forming distinct groups. Dubbed the Golden Age of Sharks, this era saw the rise of shark-like fish after the extinction of armored superpredators like Dunkleosteus. These fish diversified, becoming the dominant aquatic carnivores and taking on various forms. Amphibians also thrived during this period, sharing the waters with these formidable fish. Notably, it wasn't just amphibians and fish that developed unique traits. Some soft-bodied creatures evolved in unusual ways too. Additionally, a few species of lobe-finned fish and sea scorpions exhibited quirky characteristics. The animal kingdom of the Carboniferous Period featured amphibians with massive boomerang-shaped heads and fish resembling winged dragons. Let's delve into some of the fascinating beasts of the Carboniferous Period. Meganeura. Meganeura, meaning large-nerved, also known as the giant dragonfly, was a massive insect from the Carboniferous era, soaring over what is now North America and Europe. Comparable in size to an eagle, Meganeura holds the title of the largest dragonfly ever, often referred to as the rulers of the Carboniferous skies. Charles Brongniart first discovered this giant in 1880 in France. During its reign, Meganeura shared its habitat with reptiles, giant amphibians, and other enormous insects. However, as the Carboniferous Period ended and oxygen levels dropped, these sky rulers eventually vanished. Meganeura, similar in build to modern dragonflies but much larger, stretched nearly a meter long, making it the size of an eagle. With a length of about 75 centimeters or 2.5 feet and weighing 150 grams, it was among the largest insects ever and the biggest dragonfly of all time. Ruling the skies of the Carboniferous era, Meganeura was usually unstoppable. As a swift aerial predator, Meganeura used its powerful arms and mandibles to tear apart prey, usually other insects and possibly small vertebrates like lizards or amphibians. This agile hunter could make sharp mid-air turns and skillfully dodge streams of water. When males fought, they could halt instantly and pivot on a dime. These giant dragonflies gathered around fragmented lakes to breed, laying their larvae in the water. Males vied for mating rights with females, but had to get very close to discern each other's sex. Like their modern counterparts, Meganeura could achieve speeds that would be dizzying to a human. Arthropleura. Arthropleura, meaning jointed ribs, was a massive millipede-like arthropod from the late Carboniferous era, roaming the lands of what is now North America and Europe. This distant relative of today's millipedes and centipedes reached lengths of up to 3 meters, making it the largest known terrestrial arthropod and the largest land invertebrate ever. Its enormous size was possible due to the high oxygen levels in the Carboniferous atmosphere. Despite its intimidating size, Arthropleura was a herbivore, one of the earliest primarily plant-eating land animals. While it had strong jaws, it's unlikely that it relied on poison for defense. This giant peacefully consumed vegetation, navigating the lush, oxygen-rich forests of its time. Arthropleura roamed North America and Scotland during the late Carboniferous, around 315 to 299 million years ago. It shared its habitat with creatures like Megarachne, Meganeura, primitive reptiles, and giant predatory amphibians. Since its discovery in 1854, numerous fossilized footprints of Arthropleura have been found along the coast of Scotland, particularly in the Scottish land of Arran. Arthropleura, possibly the largest arthropod of the Carboniferous period, measured between 2 to 3 meters, 6.6 to 10 feet on average, making it as large as a man or a crocodile and as long as a car. Some rare colossal specimens were even found to be around 6 meters or 20 feet in length. As the largest known land arthropod, Arthropleura was a massive relative of today's millipedes, closely resembling a giant centipede or millipede. Arthropleura roamed the forest floors of the Carboniferous era. Despite its formidable appearance, this massive arthropod was a herbivore, feeding on decaying foliage, dead wood, and leaves in the steamy swamp forests. Though known for its vegetarian diet, its powerful jaws could still deliver a nasty bite. As juveniles, Arthropleura consumed meat and was unable to digest plants until they matured. It was among the first animals to adapt to a plant-based diet. Despite their strong jaws, it's unlikely they used poison for defense. Practically blind, Arthropleura relied on its keen sense of smell and touch to navigate and detect other animals. Although generally timid, it could become highly aggressive and easily provoked into attacking. Most Arthropleura found refuge in piles of leaves or foliage, or small underground dens, while some ventured out in the open. With body armor that blended seamlessly with its surroundings, Arthropleura was well camouflaged. However, this armor offered no protection against the rampant forest fires of the Carboniferous. Despite their attempts to seek cover by crouching on the ground, many were tragically consumed by the flames. Stethacanthus. Stethacanthus, a small but formidable prehistoric shark, thrived during the late Denovian and early Carboniferous periods. Measuring up to 3 feet long and weighing around 20 pounds, this sleek predator was a constant threat to small fish and even other smaller sharks. What made Stethacanthus truly unique was the bizarre ironing board protrusion on the backs of the males. With its rough rather than smooth surface, experts speculate that this structure may have functioned as a docking mechanism, allowing males to attach to females during mating securely. Determining the exact appearance and function of the spine brush complex, as paleontologists refer to the ironing board, took extensive fieldwork and time. When Stethacanthus specimens were first unearthed in Europe and North America in the late 19th century, these structures were initially thought to be a new type of fin. It wasn't until the 1970s, when it was discovered that only males had these ironing boards, that the clasper theory gained acceptance. With the large, flat ironing boards on their backs, adult male Stethacanthus was likely not the fastest swimmers. This, along with the unique arrangement of their teeth, suggests that Stethacanthus was primarily a bottom feeder. However, they probably were open to chasing down slower fish and cephalopods when the chance arose. Orthacanthus. Orthacanthus, meaning straight spine, was a formidable 10-foot-long freshwater fish that lived from the late Carboniferous to the early Permian period, roughly 315 to 275 million years ago. This genus includes 12 different species, 2 of which inhabited Texas around 280 million years ago, sharing the landscape with well-known Permian creatures like Dimetrodon, Edaphosaurus, and Eriops. Orthacanthus belonged to the Xenacanthids, an order of cartilaginous fish known as strange spines, which lived from the Carboniferous to the Triassic period. Though not true sharks, they were close relatives. The most famous xenacanthid, Xenacanthus, is measured 6 feet long, and its fossils have been discovered worldwide in rocks from the Carboniferous and Permian periods. These xenocanthids were freshwater species and likely the largest fish in their environments. At 3 meters long, Orthacanthus was much larger than the amphibians it coexisted with, probably serving as the apex predator in its habitat. A study of coprolites from a prehistoric freshwater shark suggests that these fish resorted to cannibalism during tough times. The shark in question, Orthacanthus, was identified by the distinctive spiral shape of its fossilized droppings. When other food sources were scarce, Orthacanthus appeared to prey on its own kind. Fossilized coprolites discovered in the Minto coalfield of New Brunswick, Canada, revealed a grim truth. These 300-million-year-old shark droppings were filled with the remains of juvenile Orthacanthus, providing evidence of cannibalism. Specifically, this is an example of filial cannibalism, where adults intentionally hunt and consume the young of their own species, sometimes even their own offspring. Filial cannibalism is seen in various modern shark species, such as the bull shark. Researchers believe Orthacanthus may have occupied a similar ecological niche to these contemporary sharks. Both Orthacanthus and bull sharks can migrate between saltwater and freshwater. For Orthacanthus, this unique adaptation likely played a crucial role in its ability to colonize inland freshwater environments. Megarachne. Megarachne, meaning great spider, and often known as the Mazothairos spider, was a giant arachnid from the late Carboniferous era, found in what is now North America and Europe. Dubbed the Black Widow of the prehistoric world, it was the largest spider species ever discovered, roughly the size of a human head. Despite its relatively small size compared to other Carboniferous carnivores, Megarachne was one of the apex predators of its time. The species was first described in 1874 by American zoologist Oscar Hager after a specimen was discovered in the Oak Hill Hills of Scotland. With a body length of just over a foot, Megarachne was an impressively large spider, boasting fangs that matched its formidable size. Its body, excluding the legs, was as large as a human head, making it the largest spider ever known. It surpassed the modern Goliath bird-eating spider in size and mass, and its leg span was greater than that of the giant huntsman spider. Despite its size, Megarachne was remarkably fast and agile, capable of moving at speeds around 10 miles per hour or 16 kilometers per hour, and leaping distances up to 32 feet, much like modern jumping spiders. Moreover, its eyes, though distinctively designed, provided it with excellent sharp vision and a full 360-degree view of its surroundings. Like most spiders, Megarachne was a solitary ambush predator that lived in underground burrows, similar to modern trapdoor and turret spiders. Besides constructing orb webs, Megarachne would create silk trip lines around its burrow to detect vibrations from potential prey. When prey was detected, Megarachne would swiftly ambush and chase it down. Once caught, the spider would drag its victim back to its burrow, inject digestive juices, and dissolve the prey from the inside out, consuming the resulting liquid meal. Living in caves came with significant risks for Megarachne, primarily due to the threat of flooding from rising Carboniferous waters. When floods destroyed their homes, surviving Megarachne had to either construct new burrows or venture into the open in search of another shelter. These solitary spiders were highly territorial and did not share their homes, even with others of their kind. As a result, a wandering Megarachne was vulnerable to the era's larger predators. Despite these challenges, Megarachne was a remarkably successful predator of its time. Tully Monstrum. Tully Monstrum, commonly called the Tully Monster, was a soft-bodied creature from the clade Bilateria that existed about 307 million years ago in shallow tropical waters near estuaries. Fossils of this intriguing animal have been discovered in the Mason Creek fossil beds in Illinois, United States. Growing to about 35 centimeters or 1.1 feet in length, Tully Monstrum had a unique appearance, with stalked eyes like those of a snail, an elongated body resembling that of a squid, and a pair of vertical ventral fins at its rear. It also featured a long proboscis equipped with around 16 small sharp teeth, 8 on each jaw. Scientists suggest that this peculiar appendage was used to probe the mud for food, allowing Tully Monstrum to feed on both living organisms and decaying matter. The classification of Tully Monstrum remains a mystery, as scientists have yet to discover whether it was a mollusk, a vertebrate, or an unclassified worm. Some researchers suggest it might be a vertebrate due to the presence of what appears to be a primitive backbone in some fossil specimens. These fossils also revealed internal structures resembling gill sacs and teeth, similar to those of modern lampreys. Additionally, a study using non-destructive laser analysis of the fossilized tissues found that they were composed of proteins rather than chitin. This protein composition strongly supports the hypothesis that Tully Monstrum was indeed a vertebrate. Some scientists argue that Tully Monstrum was an invertebrate, highlighting the challenge of proving the presence of a backbone. The fossils found are mostly from marine rocks, which primarily preserve soft tissues, leaving little evidence of internal structures. Additionally, the results from the laser study of fossilized tissues might not be entirely accurate, as not all tissues may have been protein-based. Furthermore, researchers have pointed out that no Tully Monstrum fossils have shown otic capsules, structures for balance, or a lateral line, a sensory system for detecting movement, pressure, and vibrations. These features are typically found in all aquatic vertebrates, casting doubt on the vertebrate classification of Tully Monstrum. Edestus. Edestus was a massive, shark-like fish that roamed the waters between 313 and 307 million years ago in regions that are now the United States, Russia, and the United Kingdom. The largest species, Edestus heinrichi, is believed to have reached lengths of over 6.7 meters or 22 feet. This estimate is based on the size of its skull and fossilized tooth walls. The upper tooth wall could grow up to 32 centimeters or 1 foot, while the lower wall extended to 43 centimeters or 1.4 feet. The tooth walls of Edestus were centrally positioned in its mouth, earning it the nickname scissor-tooth shark. Each wall featured up to 12 serrated teeth that grew at the back and gradually moved forward before being expelled from the front. The lower wall was more curved than the upper one. Many scientists believe that Edestus used its unique jaws like scissors to slice through smaller fish and soft-bodied creatures. Studies suggest that its jaws operated with a two-gear system, enabling the lower jaw to move forward and backward in a soaring motion. Though no complete fossilized body imprints of Edestus have been discovered, researchers infer from the fossils of its close relatives that it likely had a body shape similar to a great white shark. It probably featured triangular pectoral fins and a tall, forked tail fin, which would have made it a swift, open-water predator. Pulmonoscorpius Kirktonensis. Pulmonoscorpius Kirktonensis was a massive scorpion-like creature that lived around 336 to 326 million years ago. Fossils of this species were first unearthed at the East Kirkton Quarry in Scotland in 1994. Further analysis revealed that its body structure was similar to modern-day scorpions. Among the complete specimens found, some measured about 28 centimeters, nearly a foot long. However, the discovery of a large, fragmentary specimen led scientists to estimate that some of these ancient scorpions reached an impressive length of 71 centimeters, over 2 feet. Pulmonoscorpius was not only massive, but also had 4 distinct eyes. It had a pair of median eyes, likely used for visual clarity and spatial awareness, and a pair of lateral eyes that probably detected light. This combination of eyes gave Pulmonoscorpius a significant advantage in spotting predators and prey. Unlike modern scorpions that inhabit jungles, forests, deserts, and mountains, Pulmonoscorpius lived in swamps. Scientists believe this giant scorpion was carnivorous, preying on smaller arthropods, amphibians, and early reptiles. It likely used its front claws and tail similarly to today's scorpions, clamping onto prey with its claws and injecting venom from its stinger before consuming them. Mazothairos Enormis. Mazothairos Enormis was a gigantic flying insect that lived about 309 million years ago in what is now North America. Compared to Meganeura monni, Mazothairos Enormis is estimated to have had a wingspan of around 56 centimeters, nearly 2 feet. This estimate comes from fragmentary fossil remains discovered at the Mason Creek fossil bed in Illinois. Despite the limited fossil evidence, scientists believe Mazothairos Enormis resembled modern dragonflies, with multiple wings that enabled it to fly. Mazothairos is thought to have been an herbivore, feeding on plant juices. This assumption is based on its closest relatives, which had beak-like mouthparts with long, sharp styles. It's theorized that Mazothairos Enormis also had a pump-like organ for piercing plants and extracting their juices. Scientists believe it had a pair of small winglets in front of its larger wings, similar to its relatives. This feature would have given Mazothairos Enormis exceptional aerial mobility, providing a distinct advantage over other species.